one of the best things of the night should have been the fact that we had Roosh versus Bandito. That should have been one of the best things of the night, because that should have been a great match. It should have been.
Roosh and Bandito in the same, in the ring against each other. It should be a can't miss kind of match, but this was
it was starting off good.
Yeah, it started off with some wrestling,
like what you would expect a match between Roosh and Bandito to be like, but the end, oh my god.
Oh. Yeah. They didn't let Bandito showcase his bandito-ness.
And they had him win in like a fluke with a distraction type of way, undermining his entire win that he got at the end with a fucking roll-up alpha to distraction.
Yeah, this match had potential to be the best match. I mean, it still might have been. No, it wasn't.
No, but just by the competitors involved, even though we had a great Sammy versus Danielson 2 out of 3 falls match on Dynamite, Roosh versus Bandito at any given time is a match that should be up for best match of the week, even without like a pay-per-view build to it or anything. It should be one of those matches.
Yeah, just because of how good those two guys are.
Roosh did a couple of his tropes. He attacked before the start of the match, went to use some, cables and whip people again. And then, of course, to continue the trend, it was a lucha, so they had to try to take his mask off during the match.
Of course.
For John fucking Silver, not even 10. 10 at least would have made sense. Well, at least, I mean, Silver does a little bit, but 10 would have made a lot more sense.
Yeah, well, 10 must not have been there tonight or something. They're like, we got to keep the storyline going forever. The storyline that nobody is invested in.
And the other guy's gone, so, like, you can't even do it the way that you wanted to do it. But, yeah, because right. Jose, the assistant, slid in that chair to kind of cause a distraction, goes rip off the mask. Silver comes down. Jose just runs away from what he was doing with Bandito and runs at Silver to get laid out. Roll up, win. Bandito even rolls out and almost does like a celebration as if he was like shocked. It was big surprise, big what do you call it, upset win kind of situation, when in reality should have just been a great fucking match.
Big upset win against Roosh, who doesn't beat anybody ever in AEW. Like AEW, I'm an AEW fan, but the one thing that they've got to stop doing is trying to make you care about people based on what they've done elsewhere. Because when they come to AEW, I need to see them do something in AEW or I don't care.
That's why at least like when Swerve and Keith Lee came in, and they came in very close to each other after, contract situations came out, at least they gave them a story. Like, hey, there's these two guys that just came from the other company at the same time. So you had a tag team go up to them and say, we're tired of you people just coming from over there. So it put them into some kind of story right away.
Yeah.
And you got to build a tag team out of it and continue that.
Roosh, since he's been in AEW, has pretty much just been there to look good and lose.
It's like, hey, this guy has been around the world and he's very, very good. Watch him lose.
But he's gonna lose every match. I don't like they don't show his record, but I feel like I've never seen him win.
I feel like it's not that often.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't believe when we were there at Blood and Guts / Royal Rampage that if I'm not mistaken, the dude's very first match that he ever competed in was the Royal Rampage.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he had been on TV as in just showed up, but you start him off in the Royal Rampage, a match you know he's not going to win.
But he was in that though, and he lost like he does all the time.